This is how to be so good at mountain biking that you could coach. Now, before you leave this page and go somewhere else, I get it. You don't want to be an instructor, that's fine. You need to watch this video because I'm going to talk about the principles of rapid skill development in less time, even if you don't have time to practice. So watch. Let's dive in. The number one thing you need to know about how to be good enough to coach and why you should care even if you don't want to coach is that you need to forget body position. Everyone's going to tell you that you need to understand body positions on a mountain bike. That's not true. Body position is step 4 of a 4-step process I call the progression process. The most important thing you need to focus on instead is athleticism. Athleticism is not fitness. Fitness is working out, building muscular strength, building endurance. Athleticism is your ability to do the thing you're asking your body to do, like a little kid would do it without even having to think about it, even if you're tired, okay? Athleticism is the key to being so good at mountain biking that you could instruct it to others, and it's the key to being really good at mountain biking and having a lot of fun and crashing less. Now, poor athleticism equals compensation and crashes. Poor athleticism equals compensation and crashes. What I mean by that, this is not money compensation, okay? So I'm talking about the other kind of compensation where you put your body in the right position using the wrong muscles. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because most people who want to be an instructor or want to be good enough to be an instructor are 40 or 50 or 60. That's the main demographic. You just look at the math of mountain biking. That's where we are. And you guys don't bounce like you used to. I'll say it nicely. Now, I'm not here to pick on you. I'm actually here to encourage you because if you focus on your athleticism, it's something you can use. If you use it, you don't lose it. And if you use it and you don't lose it, you can improve this. Not only can you improve this, but you can actually create a situation where your body uses the right muscles to do the right move on the bike. This is why body position is the wrong way to go about improving your own skills and helping others as well. Also, we're gonna look at crashes. The number one reason for crashes is because people get in over their heads. And I talk to riders about this all the time. And by the way, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Dave Davidson. I'm on a mission to help the world of mountain biking shred with confidence and solve the progression problem and solve the crash crisis. The way we do this is through restoring athleticism. That's why it's number 1, even though I put a 2 here. 2 is because it's the second slide. For those of you who are nitpicking. So put a comment below if you like the idea of athleticism, if you realize that this is part of why you need to be involved in mountain biking, okay? So when you improve and dial in your athleticism, this is your reaction time, your balance, your proprioception, your explosive power, your functional movement, your muscle activations, it cuts down on your crashes, okay? Now, in order to be good enough to coach, even if you don't want to, one of the important parts is technique, okay? Technique is understanding good technique and why it works, okay? And I talk with a lot of riders out there and they say that they've been riding for 20, 30 years and back when it was cantilever brakes and clipping in, then they've actually had some bad habits sneak in over time. Is that you? Have you ever felt that way? Maybe some bad habits have snuck in over time. So the most important thing about technique is you need to get those techniques that have snuck in over time out of there. And in order to do this, frankly, you need to be able to evaluate either yourself. Now, again, maybe you guys are watching this channel and you're never going to get coaching, you're never going to get that insight, and you just want to watch the channel and pick up on a few things. Go film yourself. You'll be surprised at what you see. You're going to think, oh, I thought I was getting low there. I thought my legs were here. I thought my arms were there. And you're going to see the very base level of feedback. Now, if you're just doing that, you may not be able to, create a massive transformation in your riding. You may not be able to completely turn into the rider of your dreams, but at least you're going to be able to see what you feel versus what is actually happening because camera don't lie. So film yourself. Film yourself. Now, I actually recommend that you film yourself because it's one of the best ways to self-evaluate. I remember when I was a little kid and I used to play golf all the time, I would go to the golf course and play until I still have, you probably can't see it, I still have calluses on my hands from golf. And I've done years of weightlifting and these are from golf. So I used to play so much and I would film myself and my parents thought it was the cutest thing ever, but really it was the foundation for virtual coaching, the performance center that I built called the Athlete Accelerator. So, I mean, I know that this works because we have tons of data on feedback loops that we've worked with riders on this. So filming yourself is the number 1 way to progress your own technique. And if you want to be good enough to coach and you haven't filmed yourself, then what are you doing? You're so far behind the curve that It's ridiculous. Like, you need to go film yourself if you want to actually be an instructor. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about with technique is you need to go from bad to great yourself, okay? We don't like to talk about bad technique as instructors because it hurts people's feelings, okay? Suck it up, buttercup. If you're bad and you go to great, it's a good thing because you understand what it feels like to be here. It's very important to understand what it's like to try to corner and your body locks up and you stand up in the corner and everything goes tight in here and you grab the brake. I've felt that way before. That's why I'm able to talk about it. So you need to understand this not just from a place of empathy, which is nice, we want to be nice to people, but we need to understand why it doesn't work when it doesn't work ourselves. One, because you can say, hey, been there before, try this. And people go, oh, and they get it a lot faster.
Yeah, that cornering drill you showed me last time, that, holy smokes, is such a good drill. Like, after we talked last time, I went out in my garage, I got my beater out, and I did the drill. Like, the first one was like, okay, this feels weird. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I just got to turn my hips. So I turned and it's like a light bulb just went off. Like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. And then I did it on the other side, and I was like, yeah, I can do it on this side too. And then I jumped on my bike and I went down the driveway. And I just snapped into a turn. It was like, what the heck? Like, I don't know how you figured that out, bro, but that's like ultimate cheat code for cornering for me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
The other thing too is you can't just slap good coaching on someone who's compensating. Remember, number one, we talked about compensation. If you are compensating and you don't have the wherewithal to go out and film yourself, and you want to go from bad to great, or maybe you're intermediate, the single best thing you can do to ruin your own progress is to compensate and call it a day. I did it, I did my body position. I have a personal thing against body position, and I've been testing this for years. I go out to the trail and I use the wrong body position, so to speak, using the right muscles, and I'm still able to maintain more balance than some of the riders around me. I'm still able to send it with confidence more than some of the people with this perfect body position, okay? The final part on technique is you need to make sure that your bad habits are not multiplying. I want to give an example. Children are a great example of this. So I'm a dad, I've got 2 kids and 1 on the way. And children, when they see my behaviors, they're going to take all the bad behaviors and do 10 times of that. And they're going to see out of the good behaviors, they might pick up on 1. The reason why is not because they're bad learners. They're actually better learners than we are. Congratulations, son. Give me a thumbs up. Can I get a woo? Yeah, they're great learners. But the problem is that they only are as good as their example, and they might not pick up on all the good things. So again, if you have a bad habit and you have it inside of you and you can't take it out of yourself and you demonstrate that to other people, then it's possible that you might actually slow them down. So it's really important that you get your technique to where you can properly demonstrate. Number 4 is confidence and courage. Confidence and courage comes from competence. In other words, competence means you're actually good at something. If you want to be confident and have courage, you need to be good at this yourself with your own riding, and you need to develop confidence and courage in your instruction, okay? So I would encourage you, even if you are not getting instruction and you don't want to be an instructor, again, go film yourself, build your confidence by improving your competence. Competence is the way to go. Now, if you want to be someone who's a leader, that's really what this is about. Because sometimes you might not want to instruct, but you want people to look at you and go, hey man, how'd you do that? Everybody wants that. So I'm going to tell you my wall ride story. Me and my friends, we built a wall ride. Me and my buddies built a wall ride one time. I don't know who this is on the wall ride. I'd like to give credit where credit's due. I think that's Lisa. And I don't know who these people are, but we're all wearing flannel, having a great time. This is a 40-foot wall ride. At one time, it was the biggest wall ride in the entire Southeast United States. Me and my buddies put these slats together and it lasted for 10, 12 years before they tore it down. So one day I decided to say, hey bud, watch this to my friends. And it was a race day. There were a bunch of kids there. And I rode the very top of the wall ride about 6 inches from the top, came back down, smooth, confident, no problem, right? So a kid and his parents came up to me and said, hey, can you teach our son how to do that? The reason why you want to grow in confidence is because when you can demonstrate something with ease, then other people want to do it too. This concept is one of the most important parts about rapid adult skill learning. You have to go for something that makes you proud. You have to work towards that, because if you play small and you hold back, you will stay stuck for years. The average amount of time that a rider stays stuck on a plateau is 7 to 12 years. Usually it's about a third of the time that they've been riding, and the longer that they ride, the longer that time gets. This is what I see from talking to hundreds and hundreds of riders. Okay, so you need to work on your confidence and your courage. Number 5, you need to lead the way. Now, if you're an instructor, you need to be able to evaluate where the rider is with their skill, their fitness, their confidence level. You need to identify what the problems and the bottlenecks are in their riding. Now, with what we do, Mountain Bike Academy, we do something very special. We identify whether the problem is a physical issue, such as mobility, athleticism, flexibility, durability, those kind of things, versus is it a technique issue or a mindset issue. Now, for you on an instructor, I mean, if you got a day with someone, all you can do is just talk about the techniques. So you got to kind of limit yourself there. You need to map out the journey. Okay, this means that you need to either give a curriculum, you need to be able to have a step-by-step process, or you need to be able to have knowledge of exactly what the total map looks like. And then you need to guide people, okay? This means that they need to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, so that you guide them from the beginning of the map to the end. Make sense? Pretty straightforward. Now finally, number 6, you need spaced repetition, okay? This is something that will help you whether you are a rider or an instructor or both, so pay close attention. Spaced repetition solves the problem of mental overload. We want to work with the brain, and we don't want to work against the brain. So what you need to do is you need to have the right amount of practice in the right amount of time and stop before it becomes overwhelming, okay? So a lot of times what we do is we learn in our sleep the night after practice. And when you have spaced repetition, one of the downsides of local in-person coaching is that all you can do is work with someone for a few hours and you can show it to them once. It doesn't allow you to give them that same technique in a different environment. It doesn't allow you to give yourself that same technique in maybe a different day when you're not feeling the same. And so when you have spaced repetition, it allows you to reintroduce a technique or a principle under different conditions so that your body bakes it in and it becomes natural and instinct. So this is where a lot of coaches get it wrong, and instead they go and give more feedback. And it just overwhelms the rider. And they end up staying stuck for years, and they go, okay, well, drop my heels. I mean, I guess it felt good, but now what do I do? If you are a rider, I'm gonna go watch another YouTube video, which, please watch as many of the YouTube videos on my channel as you want to, because frankly, I try to avoid all this, but just watching YouTube videos ad infinitum will only keep you stuck if what you really need is the right feedback, okay? Lots of coaching, not really gonna help you. If you have the right feedback, it can help you in as little as 5 seconds. Hey, listen, I'm doing something special for Labor Day where I'm opening up my calendar to work with a handful of riders. So over the next couple of days, I know it's a holiday, so pay attention. If you have something coming up, just be mindful of when you book, but I've opened up my calendar to take on 5 riders this week. And I'm opening up to all of you on YouTube from across the world. So if you're listening to this and you want to work with me one-to-one to get athleticism, technique, and confidence, and especially if you are looking to be an instructor or to get that level of instruction yourself, I want you to book using the calendar link below and fill out the application there to see if you qualify. Go ahead and do it now. Again, we're on a mission to help the world shred with confidence. So just by watching this channel, you're helping a ton, and I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.